What's up, guys? This is Nick at Stridewise.com, where we look at nice, durable men's footwear. And ordinarily, we focus on boots and loafers, more casual wear. But today, we are bridging the gap between casual footwear and dressy footwear by looking at different ways to personalize what might otherwise be pretty stuffy leather shoes. So that can be for a wedding or an event, or just for your everyday wear at the office. And to help us do that, I'm here at Personalize with Rahul. Thank you for having me. And Rahul is a shoemaker who specializes in ways of individualizing and personalizing your footwear that include painting, tattooing, and carving your shoes. We're actually in Kolkata, India right now. The reason Personalize is here is because India actually has like a long history of leather painting, right?
That is. So India has a very deep history of leather painting. It started somewhere around 8800s, and it then, went down sort of a bit because it wasn't supported much. In the reign of Mughals again, around 1500, it took a rise again. And there were people who were doing hand-painted portraits, etc., etc. And all of this was done on leather.
Right, like in Europe, it's been on canvas, and here you do it on leather.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of leather hand painting that time, and then of course it died off. But this is something that of course connects us to India, and beautiful crafted shoes, and that's where we wanted to amalgamate both of these together to become, come up with something that is not available there in the market.
And it's very artistic as well, and it's a cool way to employ artists as well. This is really cool.
When you say employing artists is something, that is where it actually all comes from.
So we're going to quickly touch on 4 ways that your artists work on shoes to individualize them and personalize them. The first one, tattooing shoes. Tell us about the tattoo process. We've got a couple of examples here. Like there's this one. This is a skeleton riding a wolf with a torch, a flaming torch. Very, very cool. But also you have more subtle ones, like this, which is has tattooed flowers on it, but it's quite monochrome. It's quite subtle. It has a touch of class and personality, but it's not in your face, right? Yeah. Tell us about tattooing shoes. How does that work? Is it easier than tattooing a person or harder?
So again, when you talk about tattooing a leather, there's the difference basically that you have is if on a human skin. The human skin heals. The leather can't heal. So basically, when you make a scratch on a leather, it stays as a scratch. But when you make a scratch, like what we do in tattooing, basically, is it heals up. And because you have oil, etc., etc., in your skin, with a regular person, the ink, which even if it penetrates the skin, it washes off because of all that. But in leather, it does not happen like that. So when you try and do tattooing on the crust, it's very difficult because if you spill ink on that, it's spoiled. The leather is gone for a toss.
Yeah, it's not regenerating and spitting out oil all the time like a normal, like a living skin.
Yeah. So you have to be very precise about that. You have to have that hand so that you don't spoil the leather at the same time.
The point being that you might think this is very cool, and it is very cool, but that doesn't mean you can take your shoes down to your local tattoo artist and ask him to do it. It's a different operation. So this guy, he's an Indian guy, and you'd love to give him drinks.
Oh yeah.
And you gave him this.
And then it has been one of the sellers. A lot of people have got these dragons.
And this tattoo is the dragon, a Chinese dragon.
It's a dragon actually.
Does India have a lot of dragons?
No, India doesn't have a dragon.
Was he happy that you gave him a Chinese dragon when Game of Thrones has European dragons?
We did not get into the ethnicity of the dragon.
And this is one of your first lines.
Yeah.
And you wanted flowers and diamond fish.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there a personal reason that you want to put diamond fish on there?
Introducing a fish with a flower would be fantastic idea because you can't imagine two things happening together. But one stays in deep down in sea, and the other is just right there in your garden.
Yeah.
If you amalgamate both of these things together, it will just be crazy.
So here we got some loafers with painting on it. Naturally, you can achieve more colors when you're painting, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And the painting lasts just as long as tattoos.
Forever.
I was at Rahul's workshop, his studio rather, in Lucknow, where the stuff all gets made, and I saw it was a 5-year-old pair of painted shoes, and it lasts, even though it's not tattooed. It might sound less permanent, but it is. Tell us about the painting.
So painting, again, there's a particular process that we follow.
And this is like the most Indian of your things, right?
Yeah,
graphic design.
Exactly. So when you talk about painting, and of course we are talking about painting on shoes. So when you talk about painting on shoes, it's very important the kind of material that you use, and also it is imperative to seal the shoe after you've painted, because this is going to be in the foot. It's going to bear all that water, etc., that comes to your way when you walk through. So it's important that you seal it And again, for that, we have a process for that.
What are some common designs that guys want on their shoes when it's painted?
A lot of the guys like motifs. A lot of guys also like the floral paintings that we do. Painted shoes actually are very hit with us when you talk about Indian weddings.
You said they get motifs? What do you mean by that?
Like a crest or a motif. Yes.
So that's another good thing to know. So maybe you have a family crest, or maybe you want to come up with a family crest.
We've done that in the past.
Right, yeah. A lot of people just come up with family crest. You didn't have to be an aristocratic family from the 15th century Britain to have a crest. You can just come up with it. This is the snake. This looks maybe from a distance like we're just talking about another painting or tattooing, but actually if you look really closely, while there is painting involved here, Rahul has actually cut into the leather to make 3D scales here. Tell us about this. This must take ages.
Yeah. So basically, a pair takes around 18 hours to 20 hours to cut, because all these single scales are cut, and we can't cut too deep, because if the moment you cut too deep,
right,
you're going to kill the leather. You can't do that.
What are some other patterns that you engrave?
So we've done floral patterns as well.
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Oh,
but this is the one that I think has been the hot seller.
Okay, it's so obviously like a ton of work, but it's also nice and like regular and consistent as well. So it's like visually appealing in that way. Like it's uniform, but it also has variety, and it's also like really masculine, and it's amazing. This is really cool. And then the last way we're going to talk about personalizing your shoes is hand patina.
Patina.
What do you call it? Artificial patina? Hand patina?
Yeah, you can call it. You also call reverse patina, where you imply to it.
Yeah,
it's a brand new skin, but then you try to color it in a way that it looks old. Again, what we do is there are different ways of doing patina. Now today, people also spray on it and try to achieve patina. There are people who are trying to do it, with, of course, with spray guns or cotton balls, etc., etc. We try to do patina with brushes, spraying brushes, etc., by hand. So that again adds to a different feel to it, because when you are doing it with the airbrush, you don't have much of control. But when you're doing it by hand, you can actually, take control on it, and you can adulate it how you want to.
Very few people do it. But if you're really dedicated to finding a new cool way to personalize your shoes, hand patina is one way to do it. Also, so is carving it in, so is painting, so is tattooing, and so is all the other ways we've talked about here. So I hope you've taken something away from this. There are ways you can make your shoes a little bit more yours, no matter where you're wearing them. Rahul, thank you so much for having us. And if you're in Kolkata,
if you are in Calcutta, if you want to have a look and experience it, you should always come to us.
Yes, subscribe here as well. We talk a lot about durable men's footwear, and we'll see you for the next video. Adrian.